When you first see these pictures, you might feel sad. Too many people of all ages focused on the phones instead of the world around them. But I see opportunity because every one of those phones has a camera. And as Dorothea Lange said, the camera is an instrument that teaches people how to see without a camera. So how do we make this happen for students of all ages? In this class, Framing Nature, we start by looking at wildlife habitats, what places provide the right arrangement of food, water, shelter, and space for each animal. And the only materials that we need are simple cardstock silhouettes and a camera. Students use these silhouettes to frame suitable habitat and take a photo. And as you can see, that works for all ages. Within the National Geographic framework, observation and curiosity go hand in hand. And in this activity, once students slow down, focus through the lens and start exploring, they start asking questions about the habitats that they see, which leads to more observation, which leads to more questions, and on in this beautiful circle of exploration. The project also gives students a new way to communicate their findings because the end product is this beautiful collection of animal-specific habitats. And by comparing and contrasting the photos, it's easy to illustrate the different habitat needs of animals. So the first part really focuses on wildlife and wild places. The second activity puts humans back into the picture quite literally. Students are given a human home silhouette and asked to frame their own habitat. And when we compare the pictures of human habitat to the other animals, it becomes really clear that humans use more resources and change their environment. Several students noted that it might be better and more fun to just live in a tree. And as you can imagine, this paves the way for wonderful conversations about wise use of resources and sustainability issues. So the third part really builds on the first two, and we take a look at our human connection to nature. We look at sense of place and recognize that nature provides us with more than just food, water, shelter, and space. It speaks to our souls, and it's becoming increasingly clear year after year that we need nature for mental as well as physical well-being. And so to explore this idea of humans in the landscape across time and across our ecological region, we asked our students to do the third part. And the third part asks students to frame their favorite place in nature and tell us why it's such a special place. Here are some of the student responses. The adult responses were particularly interesting and fell into three really broad categories. Reminders of childhood, like Pat's here, places where they spend time with their families, or places to renew. And so I was really interested in talking to our adult students. And so we asked them another question. We asked them in one word, how would you describe the time you spend in nature? And as you can see, the mental health aspects of nature really stand out. And so I was spending so much time with the National Geographic framework during this project, I became really curious about the cultural and historical significance and connection with nature. And so we asked another follow-up question to our adult students. How has the way you interact with nature changed since you were a kid? Do you feel the same way about time with nature now as you did when you were a kid? And here's a few of their responses. I'm really curious to dig into these responses more and use them to focus the type of programs I teach. And I'm also curious to ask intergenerational family groups the same kinds of questions and have discussions with them about the changes in nature connection they see across ages within their own families. And I'll leave you with one last sense of place example.
I'm Katie. I'm 6 years old, and I love the plants in my mom's front garden, and because I like them is because they're pretty, and I love nature.
This is such a good reminder that if we engage students when they're young, we keep them connected, and we help adults remember the joy of time spent in nature, we'll have a citizenry that's willing, ready, and able to make sound decisions about protecting the places that we love. And it can all start with a piece of cardstock and a camera.